Welcome to part 2 of my NBL Blitz prospect recap. Today we've got a bunch of prospects to cover, so check the timestamps in the description if there is a particular player you're wanting to see. First up, let's take a look at the Perth Wildcats versus the Cairns Taipans. 7'1" French big Alexander Sarr is getting some early buzz as a potential top 5 pick. He had a more modest showing against the Cairns Taipans after a pair of dominant games versus the G League Ignite. With Pinder and Sarr playing the 4 and the 5, there is going to be a lot of athletic pressure on defensive rebounders. Here he doesn't get the dunk to go, but the early effort is admirable. Sarr pulled down 8 boards in this game after pulling down 10 and 7 against the G League Ignite. He's got some nice cutting instincts, well executed play here, receiving the pass from Pinder for the finish. As the season goes on, I think the scout will be to bother him more on these fake handoffs because it is a shot he will take and make, which is super fun for a 7-footer with his flashes of passing chops from up high. Perth have Alex Sarr switching everything, which is super fun to see the extent of his mobility. Here they just get unlucky with Bryce Cotton being the guy to make the final rotation. I really like the body control as he attacks this closeout. Nice find in the corner, just a bit miscommunicated. He gives the left-handed Sam Mennenga the lane here by crossing his body, but he flips his hips so well and makes a great recovery all things considered. A more disciplined closeout, and this is a stop. Another switch on the slip screen, and it's difficult to shoot over the contest of his 7'5" wingspan. Mennenga did a really good job of attacking Sarr's right side and his right foot in this game. Sarr is quite toolsy though, and here just makes the recovery in time. He wasn't really landing the pick and pop threes in this match, but it's great to see early on the variation to his scoring and his shooting. I think the maturity of his defense is a bit overstated from a technical standpoint. He doesn't get called for it here, but he does need to watch his vertical technique, as you'll see later on. Here he gets into his drive and kick game again, encouraging signs but seems a bit predetermined to find the corner in the early stages of this season and gets read like a book by Bobi. Then down on the other end of the court, he fouls Bobi at the rim with a bad habit of swiping down rather than vertically contesting the shot. Another fake handoff leading to a triple from Sarr. Beautifully executed play here where he reads the slip to the rim by Webster and has excellent placement on the timely pass. He looks very comfortable with the ball in his hands, given a little bit of room to attack and drive, and he earns himself 2 shots at the line here. Solid instincts here to rotate and disrupt the pick and roll. He does an excellent job at shielding the ball and attacking this closeout by Taran, finding Keanu for the easy lay-in at the rim. Bit of a rough miss from 3 to close things out, but he went 2 for 5 on the night. And moving on to his teammate, 19-year-old Aussie guard Ben Henshall, who's causing a little bit of buzz for himself in the NBA draft scene. Henshall was a standout for me when I watched him at the Aussie under-20s and is a slasher first and foremost who plays a high-paced game, here showing a lot of downhill craft with an improved handle. Does a nice job of picking the pass off here, but still has awkward moments where he gets off his feet before he's figured out what he's going to do. I love how he's always ready to attack closeouts, here Euro-stepping past the stunt and finishing with the gorgeous floater. Strong left-handed drive here, just gets back to his spot by Taran Armstrong to end out a quiet but promising 9-minute showing. And for the Cairns Taipans, let's start with Bobi Klintman, who spent last season with Wake Forest before testing the NBA draft waters and committing to the Next Stars program. I like the idea behind this rotation with Bobi reading Antonio getting caught on the screen, but he's just a tad shallow on the closeout, giving Bryce a lot of room to work with. Not to the same extent, but similar to Flowers, Bobi struggled making decisions against pressure and looked quite overwhelmed, here getting picked by Hiram Harris, who is a great on-ball defender in his own right. On the other end of the court, he was able to stick tightly to Harris with great balance, forcing him into a very difficult position. Here he cashes the corner triple. He shot 37% from 3 on 2.3 attempts per game his freshman season at Wake Forest. He's very disorganised here in his effort to pick up Usher after the mid-court screen, giving him the open lane. Bit sloppy at first, but I like the kick out and quick relocation onto the baseline here for the easy 2. Here he gets caught a step behind at the top of the key, giving Hiram Harris the lane to the rim as he seems preoccupied ball watching. He technically went 0 for 3 from deep due to having his foot on the line in the first shot, and they were really giving him the space in the room to shoot it. Another stumble under pressure for him here as he adjusts to the speed of the NBL game. He wasn't crazy physical or anything throughout this game, but it was nice to see him battle amongst the trees and get a handful of trips to the line. Seriously awesome closeout here. A lot of his on-ball issues in this game have been more related to processing speed and anticipation. The tools are evident. Little look away transition find here, nothing substantial, but it happened. I showed this in the Sarr clips, but great read by Bobi off the ball, takes it coast to coast, but Corey's got quick hands. He moved off the ball well on offense this game, here running straight through Perth's porous defense. Solid on-ball containment against Usher in this play. Again, when he's tapped in, he does have the tools. Bobi has some interesting connective qualities to him, they're just unrefined and raw. Passes like this, for example, need to come quicker and with more conviction. Speaking of Bobi's connective qualities, here's another beautiful cut, been doing that great all game long, quick drop-off pass and some lag-free basketball. Nice pick and roll, would love to see more of this in the future, just gets disrupted by Sarr. After getting the switch on Sarr, he pulls a tough bucket out his bag, making this difficult finish over a solid contest by Sarr, extending out with his left. Bit of a mixed bag this game from Bobi, things I liked, things I didn't like, very excited to kind of see which direction that goes. But next we'll take a look at his teammate, Aussie point guard Taran Armstrong, formerly of Cal Baptist, now dynamic decision maker for the Cairns Taipans. First up, he did a great job of rebounding the ball, pulling down 8 boards. He averaged 4.8 his 2 seasons at Cal Baptist. Taran really sparked the pace of their transition offense, eyes up, finding their shooters, just great stuff. I really loved this drive here with the way Taran initiated contact and kept Sarr grounded, allowing him to get the layup over an otherwise prominent shot blocker. I was also really impressed with Taran's defense as a whole, which is an exciting development to his game. He was alert, reactive, and effective. Taran is going to thrive this season with Cairns' shooting personnel, here skipping it to Lachlan Anderson for the triple. Another board here for the 6'5" guard, leading to a kick ahead in transition to Sam Wardenberg. There's a beautiful rhythm to Armstrong's game as he waits for Bobi to fill the left lane here before delivering a pinpoint overhead pass. He does a great job of implementing ball fakes to cleanly deliver entry passes as seen here, making for one of the more aesthetically pleasing watches. Nice underhand scoop to Sam Mennenga in the corner here for the drive and finish. Some great off-ball defense here, reading Miller going under and jumping the passing lane. Showed this with the Henshall clips, but yeah, great drive containment by Taran Armstrong on this one. Love the patience he has here before threading the needle on the skip pass to the corner shooter for 3. Speaking of vision, excellent read of the backline of the D on this possession, followed by a swift, accurate skip pass. Taran is so pass first that it wasn't often we saw him on the attack in this game. This is a clean hezzy though, allowing him to get into the teeth of the D before the contortionist kick out. Another really solid defensive possession here, nothing flashy though. Beautiful closeout, then a quick lag-free switch onto Pinder, and then he's back out on the wing defending Usher. Then here Bryce Cotton has him running the gauntlet. Nice bend, navigating Wagstaff's slightly moving screen, but the hustle is what stands out here the most. He doesn't get the difficult layup to fall here, but I'm a fan of the off-ball activity to put himself in a better position to attack the basket. Doesn't get caught on the screen here and immediately gets a hand up on Bryce once he's clear. And then he gets picked here at half court by Usher, who's a great defender. Great stuff here, attacking the closeout and baiting both Usher and Pinder with the fake handoff to Mennenga before dropping it off to a cutting Klintman who earns a trip to the line. I love Taran's intent to get into the teeth of the D as frequently as possible and force these sort of long closeouts, which Lachlan Anderson is able to attack and get 2 at the rim. Throughout this game, he didn't really show any sort of counter to his crossover when he was bet to his spot, and here it's a shot clock possession where he just isn't able to capitalize on. Here's a bit of flash gone awry with the turnover, not a big deal though, he was generally a great game manager throughout this match. He doesn't get this floated or full, but we know that's part of his bag from his collegiate career, but he does get the follow-up to go on this putback. I really loved how switchable Taran Armstrong looked on defense in this game, especially being 6'5", and with how alert and energetic he was. Here, nice screen navigation as well. I'm very interested to see where Taran's shooting is at. He didn't shoot any jump shots in this game aside from that late clock attempt, and did go 0 for 3 from the free throw line. And to round out the Taipans, let's take a look at Sam Mennenga, a draft eligible rookie big who averaged 15 and 7 with Davidson last season. In his junior season at Davidson, he averaged 37% from deep on just under 3 3-pointers attempted per game. I've always thought of him as a positionally positive passer, especially from the post. Here, he has the cross-court find. Bit of nimble footwork on the roll here, finds the easy open shot under the basket for 2. Taking bigs off the dribble will be an important aspect of his game moving forward. He does an excellent job taking advantage of Sarr buggering the closeout here and protecting the ball for the hook shot. He isn't the most athletic big out there, but his timing and effort on the offensive boards was a valuable contribution at Davidson. He is a bit lacking in lateral speed, and as a result of that, I could see teams hunting him out in switches moving forward. I think we're going to see him involved in a lot of pick and pop possessions this season, and that is awesome because it's something that he's really developed over the past couple of seasons. Again, another great baseline attack on Sarr here, who just manages to recover in time. Strong-bodied 4'5" at 240 pounds, he pulled down 6 rebounds in this game. And off the dribble, gorgeous direct find to Patrick Miller on the baseline. And another great pass to the cutting Bobi, who drops it off himself. Bit of a sour note to end on here with the airball, but I think Sam Mennenga could be a really interesting guy to monitor long term. Maybe not an NBA guy, but could be a great NBL player. Next up, let's get another look at Ariel Hukporti and the Melbourne United as they played against the Illawarra Hawks. Just 19 minutes for Ariel Hukporti here, splitting the load with Rob Lowe, and he had 8 points, 5 rebounds, and 3 blocks. The last time I watched Ariel Hukporti attempt a right-handed hook, it hit the top of the backboard, so I was astonished and so happy to see this shot. Bit of a dicey screen set here with extending his right knee, which technically makes it an illegal screen, which is something he'll need to watch. I like the idea of being assertive, but with how crowded he was, I don't know if this was the right time to put the ball on the floor. Huck yet again proves that he is a massive mobile human being, with the stop on one of the better offensive Aussie bigs in the NBL. The degree of difficulty on this attempt is just way too high. It was not a shot that needed to be taken with how well contested it was. Love how he immediately gets a body on Olbrich right here and secures the board. And down the other end, big lob, that's his bread and butter. Early on, it looks like he's improved a lot in his pick and roll defense from a positioning and processing standpoint, which allows his tools to flourish. And just as I was complaining about his lack of offhand contests in the last episode, he makes me eat my words. And then he gets the big block on the follow, but on this next play, it's a brick wall screener, we know that, but he gets the offensive rebound, put back, easy 2, simple, narrow roll, love it. It's only an 8.5 rebound performance, but I'm loving how relatively mistake-free this is for Huck, considering my past concerns with him, and yeah, awesome drop-off option right here with the big slam. Another defensive rebound here for Hukporti. During his NBL24 campaign, he was second in the league in defensive rebound percentage at 25.9%. Up the court, he trails the play, receiving the feed from Shea Illy, but unfortunately Sam Froling plays really good defense here. Another defensive rebound for Huck, and he's already tried it a couple times in this game, trying to take Sam Froling off the dribble, but here he does it a third time, putting the ball on the floor to no success. Just an interesting thing I haven't really seen him do before, especially at the NBL, where Melbourne have narrowed his role down so much. And again, another massive rejection on Sam Froling as he tries to put the ball on the floor. It is so exciting to see the athleticism and the tools come to light in the form of actual legitimate defensive production. And then he ends the game here with a good screen, solid, love it, and overall, pretty good showing from Hukporti. I'm excited to see what else is in store. Next up, let's take a look at AJ Johnson of the Illawarra Hawks, and a few of these prep to pro guys are having very rough starts, here with AJ Johnson going just 1 for 7 in 15 minutes. It seems like the Hawks want to give AJ opportunities as a ball handler, especially in the pick and roll. I like the synergy with Lachlan on this rescreen, but the pass accuracy needs addressing. Looks like AJ is a bit more of a project than people were necessarily anticipating. Here on defense, he gives up the driving angle down the middle to Daly. Now, I'm no shot doctor, but the energy transference on this pull-up jumper doesn't look pretty or effective. This is a pretty difficult look through contact. I don't know, it could have been better suited as a kick-out. I like how often they have him running this set, which has him thinking three-dimensionally about the defense and forces long closeouts. And then in semi-transition, the next star gets up and on the board for his first points of the NBL Blitz. Another wraparound pass across his body for the shooter at the top of the key. Nice, simple drive and kick game, like it. The upcoming clips will show this, but there is definitely a flashy, reckless abandon to the way that he plays, and not in a good way. There's a lot of immaturity to his finishing and his passing, as you'll see. Tough game at the rim for Johnson, here getting denied by Chris Goulding. If there's one positive takeaway to have from this game, it's that AJ Johnson looks really comfortable making this sort of pass, and it should play well with someone like Gary Clark, who will be pick and popping quite a bit, I imagine. I'll just let these last few clips from AJ Johnson play out, but yeah, it seems it might take a while for him to settle in, and keep in mind, he's fresh to the team. I think he only just arrived, so I doubt he's very well acclimated with their systems, with the tendencies of the other players, but overall, yeah, it's going to take quite a bit of patience. Okay, only 2 more players, I swear, starting with Aussie 19-year-old Lachlan Olbrich, who just finished his freshman season with UC Riverside before coming back to the NBL. I really like Olbrich, maybe not a 24 guy, could be a 25 guy, either way, someone to keep an eye on here. Really disciplined vertical contest against Ariel Hukporti. Great screen, goes straight into the short roll floater, strong skilled player, 6'10", 235 pounds. This play here is a great example of his game feel and assertiveness, never in the way, and always makes himself an option, whether that's on the roll, in the post, on the 3, or on the baseline. He isn't able to hit the spot up 3 from the corner, and he did shoot 29% at UC Riverside in his freshman season on 1.9 attempts per game. He's got great defensive mobility and is able to slide down a position. Here he contains Cavaliers draftee Luke Travers on the drive. Olbrich is also a great passer for a big man, here with a sharp decisive read on the kickback to the shooter off the roll. And another defensive stop here, absorbing the contact with his chest, staying as vertical as possible, very disciplined. Here Lachlan has Chris Goulding on him, when he recognises the switch, gets the ball to him, light finish through contact. Here I love how he's able to wall up and beat Tanner Krebs to each spot, forcing him into the kick out. Awesome stuff. He averaged 6.1 rebounds per game at UC Riverside and pulled down 3 boards in this match. Another really solid post defense position here against Rob Lowe, who is one of the better backup centers in the NBL, and then he follows it up with this transition dime to Mason Peatling. Alright, I found a negative. This hedge is way too hard, gets called for the foul here. And then he ends out his 12 minute showing with this baseline cut and slam for his 6th points of the night. And in our final breakdown of today, we'll take a look at Alex Toohey and the Sydney Kings. I was super impressed with Alex Toohey in his NBL Blitz debut. 6'7" forward, initially committed to Gonzaga, decommitted to join the Next Stars program and the Sydney Kings. First up, he looks super switchable here, getting the stop and the block on former French and German League MVP Will Cummings. Here he gets fouled on the 3-pointer. In this past NBL 1 season for COE, he averaged 27% from 3 on 2.3 attempts per game. Great positioning here on the offensive rebound and the putback. And defensive rebound, he averaged 5.8 rebounds per game in 28 minutes with COE. Gets his feet set, knocks down the spot up corner 3. Once again, Alex Toohey proving to be a very good isolation defender here on Will Cummings. Nice bit of on-ball initiation with the weak side pick and roll, leading to a cross-court dime by Jordan Hunter. And some sturdy balance here, coming off the handoff into a Euro floater. The Kings are very lucky to have someone from a Next Star spot that can defensively contribute like this and be so switchable, and that's going to go a long way in their hopes to repeat. He actually had quite a few minutes playing as a low man in a zone, and here he gets a good challenge at the rim but isn't quite big enough to be playing in the middle. I don't have a super strong foundational understanding of Toohey as a prospect yet, but from this one clip, maybe, I'm assuming, a right hand dominance, but we'll see. I like the gather on this drive to the rim, but he brings it too low, gets tied up, and gets picked. Couple of misses here to end out Toohey's night, but overall I was super impressed with him, especially what he did on the defensive end. I'm looking forward to seeing what he has in his offensive bag moving forward, but for now that was a great first impression at the NBL Blitz. Thanks for tuning into the video today, guys. Bunch of prospects we ticked off here, and excited to get into the rest of the Blitz. I really appreciate all the support I got in the first episode, and I'm really looking forward to pumping out more videos like this. Cheers.